So you've hit rock bottom. Life has seemingly spiraled out of control, and you're clueless and frustrated on how you got there, and you have no idea on what to do about it. 9 times out of 10, you're embarrassed and don't know who to talk to or what to do about your situation. So you just bottle it up, shove it down, walk around with this pit inside your stomach with a fake smile. Welcome back or welcome to Stacy's Domain. If you're new, my name is Stacy, your all-around content creator, and this is a topic that I know all too well. I've hit my all-time low, my rock bottom, back in 2017. Now, this was back when I was expecting my first child, my son, who's now 6 years old, and where I was faced with homelessness. I didn't have a job, pregnant, and my son's father had got locked up into prison. He wasn't even out for the birth of our son. So I was faced with a lot. I hit a very low rock bottom on top of it. First time having a kid, didn't have any support or anything like that until my godmom stepped into the picture and offered me, that I could stay on her couch. And so I got on my feet, which I'm extremely grateful for. So the first thing I want to say, I got my little cards here to make sure I get all the points and everything that we want to discuss in this video, but I felt like just holding cards like this, I didn't like it, so clipboard made me feel better. Tip number 1 is to realize that we've all been there. We've all hit our own version of rock bottom before. It may look different for everybody, but we've all hit rock bottom before. So the first step is going to be to drop that shame, drop that guilt, whatever you're feeling, drop it. We're all going to have these moments in life. That's how we grow the most, is through these low moments. We can't control what happens to us, but we can control our reaction to it and how we perceive these situations. Like I just said, like in those high moments, I view those as moments to be like, oh wow, well, my hard work is paying off, and expressing like so much gratitude, re-strategizing, setting higher goals. And in those low moments, I'm using those as reflection times, like, okay, well, what wasn't working for me? Was I even happy in this situation in my life? Where do I want to be? So I'm using those low moments to kind of redirect myself to where I'm trying to get to. That's a clear sign that I'm not on my highest possible timeline, and that's a good indicator. Tip number 2, your beliefs and your perception shape your reality. Your belief and your perception shape your reality. Your power is in your reaction and your outlook. If you walk around thinking all this bad stuff is going to happen to you all the time, if you're constantly in this fearful fight or flight state, that's going to be your reality. You're going to always see examples of why you should be in that state. Versus if you look for more positive signs, look for positive signs, such as like, well, okay, I'm looking for $100. Instead of being like, well, there's no $100, I don't have $100, like that, you could be like, well, how can I get this $100? How can I bring this into my current reality? Bring this down from a thought into my physical form. Change your perspective. I like to say, now the things are falling into place. When I feel like I am at one of those rock bottom or vulnerable moments, I like to say that things are falling into place for me. They're not falling apart. No, things are falling into place for me. It just feels much better to view it from that point. Things are falling into place versus things are falling apart. No. And another thing that I've come to realize is that change is merely an opportunity to exercise faith and strength while gaining wisdom along your path. Enjoy your journey. Regardless, everyone, like I said, has these ups and down moments. How long it lasts and the depth of which it goes is up to you, based off of your reaction and your outlook. Are you going to bounce back and shoot further up, or are you going to let it keep going down and keep spiraling out of control until I don't even know what comes after rock bottom, but I don't want to know. I always catch myself when I'm like, oh my goodness, and then shoot back up. I don't ever go, all the way down. So these are my tips for when those moments that I did hit my rock bottom, like when I was faced with that homelessness, jobless, college dropout, newborn baby. It was crazy, but this is what I did to overcome these things. Tip number 3 is to rest, practice gratitude, reflect, and to re-strategize. As far as with rest, you're going to need rest. If things are falling apart, 9 times out of 10, you were super stressed out. You probably weren't happy with your situation anyways, how it was. So rest is going to allow you to regain your energy and your mental clarity to make the best decisions going forward, so you're not repeating those same cycles over and over, getting that higher perception so you can see, okay, this is where my problems were, this is that, so you can fix them and don't have to go through that again. Now, gratitude is going to help lift your vibrations. Now, that's going to allow you to see the situation from a more positive standpoint. Low vibes kind of cut you off from seeing all possible opportunities because you're so stuck in the fact that you're even in the situation. You're not looking at everything. Instead of just accepting the fact, like, okay, boom, I'm here. At this point, there's nothing I can do about the fact that I am here. How am I going to get out of here? Okay. Reflect and re-strategize. It's so important to reflect and to pay attention to how your life even got to this point. If you don't know like the pinpoint exactly when it started, you can go back to as far as when was the last time I was happy? Okay, how was life going then? And then start to trace those steps up until boom, this is when the turn of events happened. So then you can start reflecting and saying, well, what was it that started to cause this spiral here? Can I go back up and unwind this? Can I fix this? Can I prevent this from happening again? How can I do those things? And that's going to lead you into re-strategizing. So now that you're at the bottom, like, and you figured out what those key point problem areas were, you can address those and re-strategize for you're not going to let that happen again. But also, if you weren't even happy in that place that you were, how can you excel and break past that to go further up? All right. Now, as far as like with how my story ended, I did move back home with my actual mom for a few months. I got a restaurant job at Taco Bell, which I quickly worked my way up from cashier to the assistant manager. I was able to get back into college. Didn't finish, but I did go back to college. I got a car. Me and my son had our own place. I now have a daughter, and we have our own place. And we're just constantly building and evolving and growing with these tips. I've just never hit that low again, and I'm just constantly re-elevating to that next level. So I really hope that today's video was helpful for someone who's out there going through something. You feel really low, embarrassed, down. Don't beat yourself up about being in this situation. This is, I consider it a pivotal point in your life. Consider those rock bottom moments pivotal points because you can really skyrocket from those if you so choose. And if you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment below what's some lessons that you learned from your low rock bottom moments. You know, we can build a supportive community.